Mhm. Welcome, everyone. Welcome into this space where we come to gather. I'm the Reverend Deborah Johnson with Karen Drucker, and we invite you to this inner light service. Just take a breath, turn within, and with every breath, we open up wide to the possibilities of our soul. With every breath, we awaken from the hypnotic trance, the slumber of the sleeping giant within us. With every breath, there's something within us that says, I am that I am. I am that I am. And life is good. The universe is for me. Oh, it's a good God day. It's a good God day. And we welcome you wherever it is that you are, whatever time of day that it may be, whenever it is that you're looking at this, we know that it's the right time. And because in God there is no time or space, we are together. Always. Always, always, always.
Always, always, always.
So thank you for having us into your homes, into your hearts, into your quiet places. You could be listening to this, walking the dog.
Thank you, thank you.
You could be gathered together in parties with other people just waiting to discuss what it is that's going on now. You could be jubilant. You could be afraid in the midnight hour, but regardless of whatever it is that's going on in your personal life, there's only one thing that's happening, and that is life. Always evolving towards the greater yet to be, and that includes you. That includes you. So we come here to celebrate you. Everything about you. God loves us just the way we are. And we can't stay that way. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing is stale. You cannot step into the same river twice. Not just that the river is moving, but there's always a new you. There's always a new you.
New you.
So we're glad to be on this journey with you. This journey of empowerment, this journey of remembrance, this journey of speaking power into truth and truth into power.
Truth into power.
There aren't different principles for the large or the small. It's all the same. The personal, the global, it's all the same. So I invite you as you're listening to these messages, as you're feeling these songs, I want you to let them sink in a place of pure embodiment, and to open up wide to their implications, to open up wide to their possibilities. Just how many areas of my life can this infuse? Just how many areas of this life can this empower? It's rich, it's juicy. So thank you for being with us. And I thank the incomparable Karen Drucker, the prolific songwriter, for being our musical inspiration this day. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Deborah. And so it is, yeah. And so it is. It's all about you today. It's all about you. We're so glad that you're here. We're so glad, so glad. So take a deep breath, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, take a deep breath, and get here, get here, get here right now. Let's start. So I got a song for you this morning. I want you to sing with me, okay? I want you to warm up. Everyone go, ah. Just do a little sound. I want you to sing with me, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with. You can even sing in the wrong key, it doesn't matter. So we're going to claim our prosperity and our abundance. And I want you to just repeat after me with this little song. You ready? You ready? Okay, we're going to get a little funky here. So you can get up and dance if you want. It goes like this. You got to think about what you want first. You say, what do I want? And what do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? What do I want? And what do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? I say prosperity, you say I claim it, I claim it. Abundance, abundance is mine, is mine. Love flows through me, flows through me. I feel joy, I feel joy all the time, all the time. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I claim it, I claim it. It is mine, it is mine. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I am it, I am it. It is mine, it is mine. Peace fills my heart, fills my heart. I surrender, I surrender everything, everything. And health is my birthright, is my birthright. Passion helps me sing, helps me sing. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I claim it, I claim it. It is mine, it is mine. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I am it, I am it. It's my time, it's my time. Okay, now take a deep breath. Think about what you want in your life. Peace, joy, a trip to Hawaii, whatever. And then you say, anything I want, anything I desire, anything that brings me to my highest good. Anything I want, anything I desire, anything that brings me to my highest good. I release, and let go, and let go. I accept what is mine, what is mine. I can have what I want, and let spirit direct the flow, direct the flow. Life is good, life is good. Life is fun, life is fun. Life is great, life is great. This song is done.
Amen.
Get going.
Amen, amen. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Let's just breathe that in. And remember, if it's for your highest good, it's not just about you. Not just about you. The highest good is that good where it is a blessing. It's a blessing to everybody. I know that sometimes people have issues with things about prosperity or abundance or wealth. Our theme this month is prosperity. And they take it into it being about just personal acquisition, personal possessions. They want to materialize everything or commodify it. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about here in this topic for today about we defy definition is that we are places and spaces in the universe through which the divine shines. Okay, through which the divine shines. Like, where is the music? It's like music is everywhere. And it's waiting for somebody or something to express through. It will express through as the pitter patter of the rain on the roof. It will come through as the clashing of leaves as the wind blows through. It'll come through you as the air blows through you, as you allow yourself to become an instrument. It's all it's all around, but it's looking for places of expression. Okay, and we are those places of expression. When we go to that place of being the highest good, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about that place where we are so open, that we are such a great channel, that the great I am that I am can be and do more in, through, and as us, that blesses everybody. That's what we're talking about up in here. Every week we offer you 100 words, 100 words to change your life. We call them affirmative activations. They are principles, they are practices, they are processes, they're precepts, they're paradigms. They are vibrational frequencies that if you dare to intone them, to resonate with them, to repeat them often enough so that you actually embody them, you will find that you become them. You become an expression of them. If you are in any way capable of actually saying out loud in this moment these affirmative activations as they come on your screen, I invite you to say them with me. We have not been given a spirit of timidity, but of power, love, and a sound mind. We awaken from the hypnotic slumber, rise above the chaos of confusion. We dare to proclaim that we are more than eyes can see, than lips can tell. The fullness of our divine essence defies definition. We dare to unleash the spiritual giant within us. So profound are we, constraints can't contain us. We dare to give ourselves permission to be our whole selves. We choose to live in alignment with our highest, innermost nature. Our lives are a blessing to the world. Let that sink in. And I'm going to invite Karen Drucker to come back and to bless us in song.
So let's do that, because that ended with that expression, you are a blessing to the world. You know, when I wrote this song, I always, whenever I write a song, I always go you and we, you know, when I'm doing the verses. But when I got to the part of saying, I am a blessing to the world, I burst into tears. I thought, I can't say that. I can't claim that. That's too embarrassing. Then I heard a voice inside of me saying, that's exactly why you have to write this song and record it and put it out in the world. So I invite you right now to just go down to that place that knows that you're a blessing. But first, think about someone else that you think is a blessing. Put that attention to them and say, you are. It goes like this. You are the heart. You are the hands. You are the voice of spirit on earth. And who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. Sing that again. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth. Who you are and who you are, all you do, and all you do is a blessing to the world. Now let's take that vision a little wider. Think about the world. Think about your community. Think about a group of friends. Think about what's going on in Ukraine. Think about wherever you want. And just put that blessing from your heart saying, we are the heart. We are the hands. We are the voice of spirit on earth. And who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. Sing it again. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth. Who we are and who we are, all we do and all we do is a blessing to the world. All right, now drop it down. Put your hand on your heart. Declare this for yourself. And if that critic comes up and says, "Oh, who, you?" Yeah, you. What you do, who you are, just being is a blessing to the world. So sing with me. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth. And who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. Sing it again. Declare it for yourself. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth. Who I am and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. Just that last line. I'm a blessing to the world. I'm a blessing to the. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the heart, I am the hands, I am. Sing that with me. I am. Blessing to the world.
Thank you, Karen.
Welcome.
As we breathe that in. Our theme this month is prosperity. And we're going to be talking today about how we defy definition. We defy definition. See, everything is within the infinite. But you can't stuff the infinite in the finite. Okay, everything is within the infinite. A song is finite. Okay, every song is going to be within the infinite music. Okay? Every song is within music, but all of music can't express itself in a single song. See, your relationship is a part of love, but all of love can't fit in your little relationship. Now, this may seem overly simplistic, but we forget this because we start chasing after particular things, particular relationships, particular jobs, particular creative expressions, as though the totality of that which we're actually seeking is within that one thing. But it's not. That's one avenue, that's one way that the infinite can express through. But if it's not that one, then it's another one. If it's not that one, then it's another one. We're too busy trying to define the infinite, that love looks like this in my life, that creativity looks like this in my life, freedom looks like this. But it's bigger than that. It can't be defined. It can't be defined. People ask me all the time, well, what is this? Like, what is life? What is love? What is power? What is God? Like, I don't know. My little pea brain can't grasp the totality of it, and our language would never be able to describe it all. Because the moment that you actually name it, the moment that you actually put it into some language, it gets a little smaller. But what the language can do is open us up, because we can't achieve what we can't conceive. So the language will allow us to be able to perceive more, to get us going in the right direction. But it's like the Buddhists say, it's like the finger pointing towards the moon. Don't get stuck on the finger. Don't get stuck on the finger. I can't tell you exactly what love is. I can't tell you exactly what truth is. But all of these things have markings. They all have signs. They have evidence. They have ways that they show up. They have ways that they express, ways that they make themselves known, and you know it when you see it. You know it when you see it. You know compassion when you see it. You know love when you see it. You know truth, you know beauty when you see it, when you feel it, because it has markings. You know when it appears to be absent. Nothing's ever absent. It just may be expressing itself at a lower vibration. It may appear to be not expressing itself at all, but it isn't, because it's absent. It's like music's never absent. It isn't like it just picks up and goes away. But if your heart's not open enough to be a song, then it'll feel like the music is gone for you. If you don't open up to let yourself be the channel of love, then it'll feel like love is not expressing for you. But the love, the music, it's not about what's outside. It's not about the music that I hear. It's about the music that I feel. The music that I express on the inside. Even if it's just in my head. Even if it's just a hum. Where I'm allowing myself to feel connected to it. See, your sense of abundance of love is not about how much love is coming to you. It's about how much love is coming through you. Through you. So last week, I was talking about prosperity as identity. That it first starts with the sense of it being who we are. Not something external that we're trying to chase after, but something internal that we want to activate, something internal that we want to resonate with. Okay. So, last week we were talking about prosperity as identity, and this week I want to focus on prosperity as possibility. Okay. Prosperity as possibility. Just breathe that in for a moment. Part of what allows us to have the feeling tone, the energetic vibration and resonance with prosperity is this sense of possibility. Okay. Possibility is not quantifiable. It's not quantitative. It's qualitative. A possibility isn't about past accumulations. It's not something that you can put on a ledger sheet that says, I have this much of something or I don't. It's not a measurement of possessions, assets, accumulations. Now, possibility has to do with this sense of options. It has to do with a sense of rejuvenation, sustainability, of new growth, of alternatives, of there being things that are ahead, not just things that have happened that are behind. Okay, so let that sink in for a moment. That your sense of prosperity is measured by your possibility consciousness. Your possibility consciousness. Now, part of the first difficulty here is that too many of us are trading in our possibility consciousness for probability theory. See, what's probable is a statistical analysis based upon how many times this whatever has happened before. Okay. That's where we get a sense of probability, is we take what has been and then we project that out into the future. So there's part of a problem right there. Because it makes the past the precedent for the future. When we're too much looking behind us, it puts a ceiling on our expectations moving forward. So you never want to let probability theory dictate your possibility consciousness. Okay. This is what I call living off the bell curve. My life, who I am, everything about me is not probable. It's not probable. But is it possible? It's possible because I'm here. What's the probability that a woman, that a Black woman, that an out lesbian could start a denomination, start a new church 25 years ago with nothing? What's the possibility, the probability of that? Not a whole lot of that around. And look at how we flourished. Look at the thousands and hundreds of thousands of lives that we've touched through the years. And all the people who've studied with us, and all the people who've trained with us, and all the kids that have grown up with us, the healings that have happened. What's the probability? What's the probability that we would have had a music director, so excellent that we would have been in the Monterey Jazz Festival and the San Jose Jazz Festival and Carnegie Hall, even with the great Dr. Jacqueline Hairston, where I actually had an opportunity to do an original song that she and I both wrote. And I had a chance to be on the stage of Carnegie Hall doing my own music. What's the probability of that? I could go on and on. It's not a question of if it's probable. The answer to your prosperity is not how many other people have already done you. That's not the answer to your prosperity, is how many other people have lived the life that you're destined to live. That's not the issue here. The issue here is, will you say yes? Will you say yes? Will you say yes to the possibilities of it happening? You don't know how to make it happen. I wouldn't have known how to make anything this happen, but Spirit knows. God knows. We use that phrase sometimes that God makes a way out of no way, time and time again. That's not exactly accurate. It isn't really that God makes a way out of no way. It's that God makes a way other than the ways that we thought probable. God makes a way out of other ways that we didn't even think were possible. But it's not no way. We have this tendency that if we don't know how it's going to happen, then we say it can't be done. This is part of the difficulty that we have in a lot of the healing professions, particularly Western medicine. That when they don't know how to heal you, they don't know what it is to do. They're at the end of what it is that they can do with the knowledge that they have. The prognosis that they want to give you is that there is no hope. Well, there's always God. There's always Spirit. Healing is always taking place. Yes, Western med is one way of intervention, but it's not the only way of intervention. And too often we dare to imagine the possibilities of it all because we can't see the way. We don't know how it's going to happen. So because we don't know how it's going to happen, we declare that it can't happen. So when we're saying this, well, God makes a way out of no way, we're making it seem like God just came and created something out of nothing. It's not like God created something out of nothing. It's all God's to begin with. God's not creating something. It reminds me of this joke I like to tell sometimes of these scientists that are challenging God to a duel about who can make a human being the fastest. They found the genome code and they just know that they are all that. So they pick this time and they pick a time and they pick a place and they're out in the desert. Okay. And the referee says, 1, 2, 3, start. And the scientists take down, they drop on their knees and they start scooping up some earth. And God says, get your own dirt. Everything is coming out of the divine. Just breathe that in for a moment. It's not that God came out with something else, like God came in and saved the day, made some new way. That was always God's way. Spirit always knew how it was going to be handled. It isn't that God like came up with some new plan or something like that. What happened was God's plan. We were just in the way. God didn't make a new way. It was always God's way. We were just in the way. It's like God comes up with a plan B to our plan A. No, God's plan is plan A. And when we allow God's plan B to get out of the way, then we get to see and we get to live in all of the possibilities. Don't limit the great I am. Don't limit the great I am by your inability to see how it's going to take place. Done. That has to be your declaration. It's done. It's done. It's finished. I don't have to know how I'm going to get healed. I don't have to understand all of the systems that need to take place, all the cells that need to split. I don't need to know all of that. All I need to know is that I'm healthy I don't need to know how my family's going to get restored. I don't have to know and understand all of the forgiveness that's going to take place and all the amends that have to be made and all of the issues that have to be resolved. I don't have to know all that. All you got to know is that it's possible. Your prosperity consciousness is tied up in how much you think that there's possibility. Don't get stuck in just because you can't see how it's going to happen means it's not possible. Because then when you get into that, you don't feel prosperity. You can't feel it because you don't believe that there are any options. Take a breath. Take a breath. This living in the world of possibility is so important. And one of the places that it's most important in is in a sense of self-determination. Listen to what I'm about to say up in here, because it's about to get rough. It's about to get deep. Part of the way possibility is experienced is in a sense of self-determination. So if you want to oppress people, you want to keep them down, one of the first things that you want to do is cut off their possibilities. You want to try to shrink that. Because with fewer possibilities, there's less of a sense of self-determination. So if you don't have self-determination, what do you have? If it's not self-determination, then the sense of who I am is going to be dependent upon what appears to be available to me. Okay. What I'm allowed to have. The box that I've been put in. Just how much is for me. So if you really want to control people, you want to decrease their sense of having any rights. You want to make sure that they're not tapped into their sense of an identity with the infinite supply of the divine. You want to make them believe that they're not as valued, that all of the goodness of the world may be there, but it's certainly not for them because they're not worthy and they're not deserving. This is how you oppress people. And too many of us are walking around with internalized oppression. Internalized oppression. Internalized oppression is when you so believe the stuff that those trying to oppress you are saying and doing to you that you embody it. They don't have to worry about you winning the race because you're not even going to get in it. They don't even have to worry about your trying to get a piece of the pie because you're not going to claim a slice. We have internalized a lot of stuff. One of the things that I had to get over was my own internalized homophobia. I grew up in the same world that everybody else grew up in. So I heard all of the negative stuff that everybody else heard. So I had to fight hard within myself to have a sense of prosperity as open possibility for myself in my most authentic self. So a lot of us have cut ourselves off from a sense of prosperity because we no longer have possibility consciousness based upon our internalized oppression. Sometimes I use the phrase decolonize our minds. That we have to decolonize our mind. That we have to go back to the most indigenous wisdom within us. The most indigenous. That part of us that's closest to the land, that's closest to the divine, that's not caught up in a bunch of constructs and paradigms and man-made ideas and identities and all of the rest of this that we think shapes who we are and therefore how much we can have and how much we can be. There's a lot of oppression that's going on. And it shows up in all kinds of ways. It can show up as war. It can show up as legislative measures. It can show up as controlling in relationships. It can show up as self-abuse and addiction. It can show up a lot of ways. And I'm not talking about dualism here. I'm talking about what happens from our shadow sides, those parts of us that are not living in the light. It's not something extra. It's just that part of us that's not cooperating, that part that doesn't know that it's one. So anybody or anything that's trying to oppress is afraid they're not enough, afraid of scarcity, like there's not enough to go around. And unless I have your land, and unless I control you and don't let you vote, unless I control you and your body, then I'm scared because I don't have the identity of prosperity. I don't have the identity of possibility. So a lot of what's going on now, whether it's the war in Ukraine, the aggression of Putin there, and I'm not just trying to make him a bad guy. Like I keep saying, we've been Putin from sea to shining sea right here in the United States. I'm just saying, it's not about personalities. It's about practices. It's about premises that need to change and that need to shift. So it just keeps escalating here. In the United States, it just keeps escalating. Pain pushes until vision pulls. Now, this latest leak that we've gotten that is a draft, surely stating that it is the intention. The ruling hasn't come out yet, but the intention of this current Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade. It's outlandish. It's horrific. For more words and ways than I can even explain. But the piece of this that I want to speak about the most has to do with what I'm talking about in terms of this self-determination, because ultimately, that is what is at stake. We need to shift the discussion from just talking about women's rights. What is at stake here is not a set of rights. What is at stake here is freedom. Is freedom. And the freedom that comes from self-determination. The freedom that comes from the self-determination that happens at the ballot box. That's what creates a democracy. That's what creates the self-determination. It's everybody gets a vote, yes, but a vote to what? For what? The vote to self-determine. To express freedom in that way. So abortion is a right, but a right to what? It's a right to self-determination. It's a right to freedom. And that's what we need to keep speaking out about. Not just talking about somebody taking away rights, which that decision would do, but to keep declaring that women have a right to self-determine. They have a right to freedom. But this isn't just a women's issue. Most of the women who are seeking abortions in this United States already have families. They already have kids. These are collective decisions of families. And the fact that these new laws make no exceptions for rape or incest or even the life of the mother, that is unconscionable and outrageous. It reminds me of something. I was just stupefied. This was probably about 1990. We'll thick into the early AIDS movement that was happening through the early 80s and the mid 80s and on. And I remember exactly where I was when this discussion took place. I was in San Francisco at the Shanti Project. I was their diversity consultant there, this AIDS organization. And I was very, very big in the AIDS movement. So we had these epidemiologists come and we had these people who were explaining some of the new breakthroughs that were happening with some of the new medications. And I forgot the name of this particular medication, but it was a medication that had proven that the taking of this medication decreased the probability of interuteral transmission, meaning that if a woman consumed this particular medication while she was pregnant, she was pregnant and HIV positive, that she was less likely to pass on the HIV to the fetus. Great news, right? So I asked the question, innocently enough, well, that's great. What are the side effects? What's the impact on the mother? And do you know what they told me? They didn't know. I said, well, why not? Because they didn't study that. I was like, excuse me? They said that wasn't the point of the study. The point of the study was to see if the medication stopped her from passing it on to the fetus. And it still stupefies me. You have women taking a medication and you have not even bothered to take a look at what it does to her. And I really got in that moment at this like deep, visceral level of how the woman was just not important. She just wasn't, her life wasn't even important in this scheme of things. She was just an incubator. She was just an incubator. That what happened to her life was insignificant. And then they went on to explain that's why most of the early AIDS medicine that was out there hadn't been tested on women. They didn't know what the effect was going to be on women because men were just easier to test on. Fewer variables. The hormonal conditions weren't as complicated. They weren't likely to pregnancy, and all of these other things that could throw off the studies. So they just weren't studying women because the women were just more complicated to study. But there was no way of knowing if the medications that had been tested on men were going to be good for the women. And I'm looking here 30-something years later and going, oh my God, we're still here. And it's playing out politically, where what happens to the mother doesn't matter. Now, the implications of this, as far as society goes, as far as our economics go, and what this would mean to us as a society to have all these additional people that we're not caring for. The hypocrisy of saying, well, yeah, we want all these women to carry these things, these babies full term if they have these babies, but then you shut down all the clinics that provide birth control. You shut down all the clinics that have prenatal care. What? Are you making it any easier? Are you really taking a look at why there's a demand to have the abortions in the first place? Are you helping out economically? Are you making adoption easier? Making sure that there's childcare and good education? Just what? When you peel it all back, it becomes an agenda against self-determination. Whether it's voter suppression, whether it's abortion rights, whether it's the attack on trans people, as just a litmus test of how easy it's going to be to do the next launch against all of the rights that the LGBTQ community has gotten. And as sure as I'm sitting here as an activist, I'm telling you, if Roe v. Wade goes down, marriage equality is going to be one of the next things on the chopping block. Self-determination. Self-determination. Possibilities of who you can be and how you can be it. And we don't have the right to cut off people's possibilities. We don't have the right to decrease the prosperities of their lives by trying to limit the possibilities for their lives that don't fit our design for what we want for our life. We got to share this thing called life. We have to share it. And everybody's not going to look like you, and everybody's not going to act like you. But that does not give you the right to take away other people's right to self-determine. Pain pushes until vision pulls. This is a time for us to have great vision. This is for us a time for us to talk about freedom, not just rights. To talk about possibilities, not just oppression. To make it really plain, really plain, our voices will not be silenced. We are not going back. And furthermore, we're brighter, richer, more prosperous collectively when everybody has a chance. When everybody has a chance. We're a better nation. When Title IX was first getting passed, which was the bill that said that we had to spend as much on sports for girls in our schools as we do for boys. I love what Jesse Jackson said. He said, we'll never know how good the game can be till everybody can play. We'll never know how good the game can be till everybody can play. Just breathe that in. Your prosperity consciousness is based upon possibilities. Your ability to perceive possibilities. But to the extent that you try to limit the possibilities of other people, your own prosperity consciousness goes down. Listen to what I'm saying. Your own prosperity consciousness goes down. You get into fear, you get into greed, you get into worry, you get into control, you get into oppression because you don't feel innately prosperous. But the more you believe in possibilities and the possibilities for everyone to be prosperous, healthy, and whole, yours will go up. Just breathe that in. Now is the time. Now is the time for us to have a clear vision of prosperity, possibility, and the freedom that comes from self-determination. We are not going back. We're not going back to the closet. We're not going back to just the life in the kitchen. We are not going back in anything because life does not go back. Like Khalil Gibran says in The Prophet, life does not tarry with yesterday. Onward, upward to the future. More joy, more peace, more prosperity, more abundance, more aliveness, more creativity, more power, more collaboration, more creativity, the more that is the natural order of things. Let us pray. Let's pray. So just turn with it. Can we feel it in our bone? We feel the majesty. We feel the magnificence. We feel the opulence of the divine, everywhere present, expressing itself in and through everything everything, and that includes us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mother, Father God. Thank you. Thank you for never stopping. Thank you for never giving up. Thank you for not allowing our humanity to influence in your majesty. In spite of our folly, whether we're just or unjust, the sun keeps shining. There's no darkness that can defy the dawn. Weeping may endure for the night, but joy cometh in the morning. This is how we show up this day. Knowing that we defy definition. The great I am that I am is more than eyes can see. More than ears can hear, what lips can tell. We know that this great I am of our being is always manifesting, is always expressing itself as all needs met. Manna from heaven. Manna from heaven, even in the wilderness of our deserts. Manna from heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. It's not a ration. It's not a predetermined ration. Whatever our needs are from day to day. God, you lead us by the green pastures and you lead us by the still waters. You restore our souls. If we had 10,000 tongues, it would not be enough to say thank you. So in this moment right now, we take the blinders off. We take the restrictions off. We take the constrictions off. No more restraints, constraints. Oh, no, 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 no. We just stand naked. Naked. We drop the armor, the swords, the defenses. We step out of the closets. We get out of the boxes that we've self-contained ourselves in and restricted ourselves in. The labels, the identities that no longer serve. We lay them down on the altar and say, use it, God. Use it. Do something with it. Do something with it that's a blessing. The hopes, the dreams, the desires, the fears, the worries, the concerns, the agendas, the timetables, we lay them all down. And we know that the great I am that I am, like a big cosmic compost pile, just takes it all and reshapes and repurposes it. So we're not trying to hide anything. We bless it all. The things that we don't even want anybody to know about. The mistakes, the bankruptcies, the incarcerations, the car repossessions, the foreclosures, the divorces, whatever that is. We say, oh no. The addictions, we lay it at the altar. Ooh, and on the other side, God uses it all. So we're able to witness to people because we've been in their shoes. We're able to be a greater conduit because we don't have so much judgment. We're not all haughty looking down our nose. Letting go of the judgments and the resentment. We become portals of peace. Oh, breathe that in. For all the prayer requests that have come in, we're praying divine order, right action. Even if it's a prayer you haven't had the courage to utter yet. It doesn't mean that God's not doing the healing. You just got to utter it to claim it. So you can see it is done. Thank you for the healing of the body temples, of our financial bodies and affairs, the discordant relationships, the global and economic crises and confrontation. Thank you. Thank you for opening up the doors, for the opportunities, for the creative collaboration. Thank you for the funding and the project design and all the products for clean energy and clean water, the housing all over the world, the ending of pandemics, and health and vitality, education and freedom for all. Oh, we know it's possible. We just get out the way and allow that which is to be. It's done. And so it is. Shalom. Oh. Alhamdulillah. And amen. Amen. Thank you, Karen, for playing under me.
Oh, I got a little thing I want to do though right here.
I'm about to invite you.
I am open to the possibilities. I am open to the possibilities of a life that is meant to be lived by me. Sing that with me now. Sums up what she was talking about. I am open to the possibilities, to the possibilities. I am open to the possibilities of a life that is meant to be lived by me. Oh, let me sing you one little verse here. I don't have all the answers right now, but I am willing to take it slow. And I believe that something is calling me where that path will lead. I don't know. So here you sit with me now. But I am open to the possibilities. I am open to the possibilities possibilities of a life that is meant to be lived by me. All right, let's just bring it into a prayer. Really embody this. I am open to the possibilities. I am open to the possibilities. You might want to even put your hand over on your heart and then open it. Open to the possibilities. To the possibilities. I am open to all the possibilities. I am open.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. And I just want to remind everybody that we are a praying community. We're a praying community. And we have people who have been studying years, literally, to be open places and spaces, to know the truth about the divine, to hold the space for you. Sometimes we're just too tired to speak the word over ourselves, or we're too afraid. Well, we got you. We got your back in prayer. You can call us at 831-465-9090. Our prayer line is extension 254. You can send us an email, the number 4 and the word prayer, at our URL, innerlightministries.com. Don't try to carry it alone. And also give us the opportunity to rejoice with you. Okay, you can give us good news, and maybe it's just you want 2 or more to be standing in agreement. Whatever, something great is happening in your life, and you just want somebody there with you. Well, let us stand with you as well. We invite you to do that. There are wonderful things that are always going on at Inner Light. And we invite you to check us out on social media, go to our website, check out our calendar for the various events and things that are happening. They are throughout the week sometimes, because we're not in our center anymore. The events will be happening at different locations. Our Sunday gatherings are always at the 418 Project right now, that's downtown Santa Cruz, on the first Sundays of every month. But then we get together, go to the beach, do other kinds of things. So be sure to check us out on that. Our food bank is now at Santa Cruz Bible Church on Frederick Street. It's still noon on Thursdays, and we invite you to check that out. We love to see you and to be involved with you. I have a new workshop that's coming up, and it may very well be my last workshop for the rest of 2022, as I am going on sabbatical at the end of, in mid-July. I'm going on sabbatical for 6 months. I may teach some things, but we'll just see where Spirit leads. There will always be the Sunday service going on, though. Don't worry about that on Sunday mornings. The new workshop, you can find it once again on our social media. And if you go to either mine or Inner Lights, it'll be there. It's called The Possibilities of Yes. And it starts on Thursday, May the 12th, I believe that is. It's for 5 weeks. It's 4 p.m. on Pacific time, so that those of you on the East Coast can participate in that as well. It's based on materials out of my book, The Sacred Yes. These downloads that I get from Spirit. I have a lot of good time there. And I want to invite you to participate in conscious giving. to support this ministry and the incredible things that are going on, getting the messages out that we're getting out, because these are messages of hope and possibility that really, really impact people. You know, our center was sold a few months ago, and we are finally completely like moved out now as of this weekend. And the last thing that's happening there, we've been talking about it, and it's time for it to actually go out on the high seas. We have been basically recirculating everything that we had. And I mean that seriously. We had 15,000 square feet on 3.5 acres, and maybe 3%, 2% of everything that we had we're taking with us. And we have released. We have released. Most of it we've sold, we've given it away. And there's a whole crate, a cargo crate, that's going to be going to Burkina Faso in West Africa. So that crate now is absolutely completely full. What you see there in the back are all of the pews. Yes. And what you see there that's being wheeled in are the seats from upstairs in the balcony. Believe it or not, that's seating for like 600 people or so. Those are the pews from our sanctuary. You can see even the railing has come down. These are going to go to villages. They'll be made smaller. They're going to go into hospitals. They're going to go into schools. In addition to that, we are sending all of our excess everything. So that's what it looks like now. It's even emptier than that, if you can believe that. It's incredible. And I think we might have a couple more pictures. So we are we've sent at least 25 printers, maybe 20 computers, all the excess AV equipment, everything in that room, almost everything in that room was going out. Stoves, the 3-door refrigerator, the toilets, sinks. We had like 22 toilets there at the center, and I think at least 3/4 of those are going. The AV equipment, the stereos, the excess sound equipment. It's really an incredible endeavor that's happening there. Things for kids and the schools and the supplies. I think something like 16, 17 desks, sofas, you name it. It is unbelievable all what is getting into that crate. And it's time to ship it. It's time to ship it. So we're still about $2,000 shy of what we need to be able to have that go to Burkina Faso, West Africa. There's a group there that we have been working with for many, many years. There's a job skills development center there where they actually train people in how to repair all of this equipment and to fix it up and to make it usable. You know, in the United States, we have a lot of waste. We didn't want any of our stuff going to the landfills. And we certainly didn't want to get in that consciousness, oh, well, that's just old. Well, it may be old, but there are other places and other people who can actually use the stuff. So I want to encourage you. And this gives us a tremendous sense of prosperity in the possibilities that we are creating around. So if you want to give us a little extra something in your donations, we'll show you some ways in which you can do that. If you go online, that's the quickest way for us to be able to get our hands on this. We're needing to ship out by Monday or Tuesday, like within the next 48 hours or so. If you go to our website, innerlightministries.com/donate, you'll find that you can donate there through PayPal. You can use credit cards. If you want to, you can use the QR code that's on the screen right now, and it'll take you to that same location. You can also text, you can do Cashed App as well. And I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody for your generosity, all of your donations now and through the years, and for all of the effort that you have taken into helping us into this state of transition. It's taken a lot of people to do this. I say thank you. And I also want to invite you to join us if you are in real time looking at this. There is a Zoom party that's going on. People who are there, they are waiting. We've gone a little bit longer today, but they're waiting for you. They just join in. You can converse with people. These are folks coming in from at least 3 or 4 different countries at times. Usually at least 2 people coming in from Canada and Denmark, and sometimes we've got some people that are coming in from the UK and just all over the place. And you get a chance to be in small groups and to speak to one another, share the prosperity stories that are going on in your life as well. What an exciting time to be in. What an exciting time to be in. And I'm going to invite Karen to come back and bless us out of here.
All right, Rev, thank you so much. So I'm going back to what you were talking about. You got me fired up, so I changed my song. I'm doing this one today. So this is a song I wrote with Gary Lynn Floyd. This is how I feel right now in this moment. These times are troubling me so much I can hardly see through the walls keeping us apart. You got your views and I got mine, but we're together in this moment in time. I hope you can hear me with your heart. And I'm not trying to push you away, but I got something I gotta say. I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for humanity and the good of all. I stand for hope, I stand for faith, I stand for freedom and the good of all. And I stand, I stand, I stand. Would you stand with me? I stand, I stand, I stand. Could you stand with me? When we don't understand, we turn away instead of learning that there could be another way. Can we agree to disagree? We may never see things eye to eye, but we can hold on to the love between you and I. It's the only way we'll survive. And I'm not trying to push you away. I got something I gotta say. I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for humanity and the good of all. I stand for hope, I stand for faith, I stand for freedom and the good of all. Sing with me now. I stand, I stand, I stand. Could you stand with me? I stand, I stand. Right here, not going back. I stand. Could you stand with me? And I stand.
Amen. Amen. Let us take this consciousness and multiply it. See you next week.